I'm able to work with a lot more players than just in person, obviously.
Yeah.
So I have dozens of young guys on my programs, and most of them are between 17 and 19. So they're about to become pro. They're about to make it to the first team, and I love it because you know how it is when we're that age, man. You're so hungry. You want to be a professional athlete. You're ready to do whatever it takes, but you don't know how to train properly. You don't have the knowledge. You don't have the guidance. Maybe, okay, some coaches or some parents are telling you what to do, but is it actually helping you? Is it working? Now you have this guy who trains the best players in the world who's telling you. You do it and you see the results. You sign your first pro contract. You make the first team. So that's what I really like doing now.
Guys, welcome to another episode of Jibber with Jabber. Today I'm joined by Coach Nick. How are you doing, dude?
Good, thank you.
I appreciate it. A little
Thanks for
introduction, Coach, for those of you guys that don't know Nick. Nick is a celebrity trainer and pro athlete trainer to most of the footballers and most athletes that come to Dubai. Whenever they come into Dubai, they check in and see you.
Yeah. I mean, the ones that want to work out,
Exactly.
That are not just into partying and stuff. But there's a lot of. I've had a lot of fighters. Depends on what kind of players. Like my specialty. I've worked with a lot of American football players also and that kind of stuff back in North America. But the guys that come all the way here, it's mostly from Europe. So it's mostly like football players. Like most of them.
I just want to do a disclaimer. So for those of you that are wondering why I have a filter on Nick, why I put my body on his head on my body, it's just that I just thought I'd give him a little boost. So we have our editor now. They've changed the bodies around. So this is what Nick actually looks like, and that's what I look like. So let's go back to Quebec, where you started there. What got you into the whole fitness thing?
I've always been. Well, I grew up like you grew up over there. Everybody plays sports, right? So I played soccer like growing up in with all my friends at recess and stuff, watching ice hockey on TV every single day, and just playing all the sports that we can play, and I knew I ran fast, and I think it's something every little kid, man, you race. There's nothing like racing and trying to beat your friends, Of
course.
So there's that competitive thing. I still remember until now, in 6th grade, I remember that I came in 4th. My 3 friends beat me. I remember what they looked like and stuff. It's crazy, And then when I was 12, after grade 6, so 12 years old, 13 years old, my family and I moved to the States, Maine, for 2 years, and I didn't speak any English or anything. So it was rough, that those 6 months I had to learn English and to adapt. And sports gave me a way, of making friends and stuff. I started playing ultimate frisbee and stuff. And then my mom made me run track and field to make more friends. And
it's just like you're not making the right friends playing ultimate frisbee, dude. You need better friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Those ones are all smoking weed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're not supposed to at 13, man.
Yeah.
So yes, I started running with them, and then first school Olympics there. I remember I came in 4th again, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm decent. And then the year after, I think I came in 1st, and then we moved back to Canada, to Quebec, and then I got lucky. That's the year that they started the track and field team at that high school that I went, and so I became the captain of the team. I was the fastest guy the next couple of years, and from there, just obsessed with getting faster, and it was my whole life, while playing football also. But like football, soccer.
I was about to say, when you say football, because when my American friends say, "Oh, let's play soccer," I'm like, "Let's not. Let's play football, dude." Like,
it's funny, huh? Growing up, like I always thought, like, no, it's football and stuff. Like, why? But like now that I'm here, it's been 8.5 years, and everybody says football. I'm like, why do they call it football in North America? Man, it says football.
Yeah, exactly, right? It couldn't be any clearer than what it is, right? And they have arguments with my friends. I'm like, you're trying to explain my language to me, dude. I was raised in the UK. You Americans are speaking English, dude.
Yeah. How'd they come up with it? They just wanted to be rebels, Like,
dude, they put everything they make. They exaggerate it, like from a vest. Like we call that a vest.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you call that in America?
This one especially, I don't know, but usually with no sleeves, I call them wife beater.
Okay, wife beaters or whatever. But Americans, they call them shirts.
Shirts?
No, they call these shirts.
Yeah,
but we call them t-shirts.
Yeah.
We call shirts the button-up. the one that you
Yeah,
button
yeah,
up
yeah,
that has
yeah.
the collar. We
Yeah.
call that a shirt.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm not even gonna argue with that anymore.
Yeah, I don't even know
Yeah,
anymore,
yeah.
man. I at this point in my life, my English is a mix of a bunch of different
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Because I've learned English right in Maine for a couple of years. Then I went back, spoke mostly French in Quebec. Went there for 3 years. And then we moved to New York. My family again, my dad got a job in New York. So we moved there. I finished high school again there. And then I came back to go to McGill. So I spoke English there. It was a university degree in English. And then after another 3 years, then I moved here. And here the English, obviously, it's a mix of all kinds of
don't
stuff.
worry what it is here, bro. As long as you can get around, like
Man.
signal left, and that's all you
Yeah,
need to know.
yeah,
But, so were you doing the coaching there before you came here?
yeah.
You were already a trainer.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
was it more of a kind of like the common population, like normal people, gen pop kind
No.
of people, or it was straight into
Both.
athletics? And
Yeah.
athletes and
I think almost, most people, even now, I still train some general population, but it's pretty rare that you're able to train only athletes. Like, even if you train a lot of high-level athletes like I do, you have some general population people that want to work with you, because you work with those people, so you're known as, you have a good reputation and all that. So back home, I started working while I was studying kinesiology at McGill. I started there when I was 18. So when I was 19, I got lucky. I started working at basically the best gym in Montreal, downtown Montreal, as a personal trainer. So while I was studying kinesiology, which is the science of
yeah,
movement,
bro. Right now, see, this is a really nice conversation because I was into the whole training,
Yeah.
my whole life. I've been doing it. I did my masters. I did all that
okay,
stuff.
nice.
And then you get people who have done their level 3
Yeah,
and
yeah,
think
yeah,
they're
yeah,
God's
yeah.
gift to trainers.
And
They don't have any idea. So when I hear you saying kinesiology and
Yeah, I
this
know what
and,
you
and the
mean,
study
man.
of this and the study of that, and they don't further their studies,
Yeah.
and it's just like, mate, and they're trying to charge and
Yeah.
and put themselves out there as, oh, I'm the best trainer and blah blah blah. I remember one time, so I had my company, I was hiring someone, so I did a dummy session. I was like, okay, do you mind doing some PNF stretching? So I gave him the towel. So he goes, yeah, and he laid the towel on the floor and made the client sit on it, and I was like, okay, fine. Do you know what I mean?
Fail.
Didn't use the towel, didn't like nothing, and I was just like, okay, yeah.
You did masters in what?
In sports science.
Oh, nice, man.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. I was talking to someone yesterday also that it was like a fitness influencer, and I wasn't expecting. I didn't know he did also strength conditioning bachelor and stuff. And yeah, it's refreshing when you hear it now in
Exactly.
Dubai because there's so many trainers. It's nice to talk with someone who knows a bit more like the science and there's a reason why we do certain things and yeah. So so while I was studying at McGill in kinesiology, I started working also with a lot of athletes. There's a lot of pro athletes that used to train at that gym. So I got to see how the training. I shadowed the strength conditioning coach of the Montreal American football team. So I learned a lot from those guys. So it's really cool. And I was still in the track team also. I played a bit of American football while I was there also. So for me it was perfect because I was learning the things. I was like, oh, this makes sense, this is what I'm doing in the gym. Or I would be like, oh, let me try this out in the gym. Then you're like, you can apply right away. And you learn it. Obviously you memorize it way better. And you actually understand. It's not just reading in the book, because McGill, it was a bit more theory. Very smart, like people will go on to become doctors or physios and stuff, but not so much practical. So when you come out of university, it's like, okay, what do I do now? Like they don't actually teach you how to become a trainer. So for me, I got really lucky. I started working with athletes there. Then when I graduated, I was 22. I graduated 2009, and then for 3 years, I kind of tried. I was working with some soccer players, some young guys. I was, working with some ice hockey players, American football players, and just trying to pay the bills and trying to get my business started. But in North America, strength conditioning and kinesiology, it's very advanced but very saturated also. It's very competitive. So it was tough, like I was trying to figure it out, like, okay, let me make this website. I was making business cards, trying to get my thing started, and then that's when one of my good friends who studied with me at McGill and was working in the same gym as me, he basically started dating this girl from Dubai, so he came to check it out, and then he noticed that there was no gyms, performance centers for athletes basically in the Middle East. So he gave me a call, and my other friend also, and we came to join him in the August 2012, and that's when the adventure started.
Which gym was that he?
It was called Fast Athletic Training.
Okay, I know Fast. Yeah.
How long you been in Dubai for?
I was born in Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
But, I came back and forth, but this last time 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we opened it
French,
in 2012.
what's his name? I know the guy's name. I think my wife used to train with him.
Where? Who? At Fast?
Laurent? No, what's his name?
Laurent?
Is his name Laurent? No.
Who?
The owner of Fast. What's his name?
Fast, he's not here anymore. Fast is closed down.
Yeah, but what was his name? Olivier.
Tall guy, basketball player. He used to
yeah.
play NCAA,
Back
Massachusetts and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it
He
was
used to
him
be on the rooftop, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
At Fit Inc.
Yeah.
So originally it was an art course in Artaf. We did really well. It was just me and one other, Ollie and one other trainer, Chris Green, and we were killing it. So after a couple months, we said, okay, we got an offer to go there in Fit Inc. and make a big move. And it was a sick gym. We had an amazing strength conditioning team, and it was awesome. But it was the first time that those guys were starting a place like that, and I guess the marketing, the management wasn't the best. And eventually, after a couple of years, all the trainers really got frustrated. Most people don't even know what that gym was, man. They never heard of it, and the owners were like Ollie. They were proud of saying, "Oh yeah, everybody comes here, word of mouth." But it's like, man, social media marketing, like, but there's no shame in doing that.
A lot of people don't realize. Pardon me. It's not easy, because the business side is a whole new thing.
Yeah.
Like it's not. I wouldn't say it's easy, but doing the practical side of training and owning a business with 7, 8, 9 trainers under you and rent and all that stuff, it's not as easy as you think it is.
True.
Like it's very complicated, and it's like that with any business.
Yeah.
You start picking up, and then you're like, all right, cool, we're gonna move here, we're gonna get this, we're gonna do that, and then you're there, and then you're like, oh shit, this is a lot on our shoulders.
True. Yeah. So that's basically what happened. Yeah. It was. And after a couple of years, I remember I came back. I went away for the summer to Montreal. I came back. I was like, I'm gonna quit now. I'm gonna, do my own thing. It was the first time. I was pretty scared. And then the week before I came back, one of the trainers quit. The week that I came back, another trainer quit. And within 2 months, boom, big wave. 7 of the 9 guys quit, including myself. And then so the gym went down. They struggled.
It was your fault. You ruined Fast, bro.
I was one of the first. But the thing is that they took it personally, because for a couple of weeks, months, I was like, yeah, how do I do this? The visa, blah blah. And then me and 3 other guys from the company, we said, well, we might as well team up, and we had some good things happening there, so let's just try to bring that with us, bring those clients, bring that reputation and stuff, and start our own thing. So we started the physical training company. I did that for a couple of years with them, and then eventually I left that company. They're still going, they're still doing the same thing, group classes and stuff like that. And then I moved on to other things. Took over a gym where I started training all the celebrities and stuff. And
so who was the first celebrity that kind of boosted your, because you said you were training them in Montreal and that, but who out here was like the main big one that you were like, oh shit?
Karim Benzema.
Nice.
That was a lucky break. But I remember telling myself, lucky, you create your own luck, obviously. You have all the pieces in place and stuff. But, when that happened, and then it's been 3-4 years, and then whenever he would be in town, we kept training. I was like, okay, I don't want to be known as the guy who trained one celebrity. Like, let me take advantage of this and keep it going. And I was like, when I saw also, the first time that I trained him, and he posted on his story and tagged me, and I saw like the impact that it had, I was like, so if I train a lot of celebrities, I'll have a lot of followers and great reputation. People will know. So I was like, let me give that a try. And then I basically put a plan in place and started getting my name out there more. And then started training football players. And from there, it was a snowball effect. They saw what I could do, what I knew how to do, and they liked it. And then word of mouth, social media, they tell their friends, all that stuff. And then that's been a couple of years now.
I mean, it's great as well when you get an endorsement of somebody like Karim Benzema on his profiles.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's not just football, right? So you've done. I saw you were training Reem as well.
Yeah, over Reem. Yeah. I've had a couple. Boxers and stuff. I had a Badu Jack from boxing.
Nice.
A couple of Bellator guys also and stuff. Kiefer Crosby. I don't know if you know a bit, like. Kiefer Crosby and all that. So but I never really did fighting at a high level, and I played for my high schools and stuff back home for like soccer, football till I was 18. So I know the sport pretty well, and what I specialize in is making guys more explosive, accelerate faster, change directions quicker, jump higher. So that's my passion, and that's that's what I can do with football a lot. It
Mm.
works also that Overeem loved my approach. Like
Mm.
he still does my workouts and stuff on my training app, and he really felt the difference. It was a different approach. But for football also, yeah, I love to see it. And there's a lot of football players that come here, so that's
Mm.
why also,
Man, so I collect memorabilia, sports memorabilia from everywhere. You must
Yeah.
have a nice selection of signed things.
Yeah, I got some nice T-shirts for sure, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get pretty lucky with that. I got some cool ones for sure, man.
That's what you should do, dude. Every time that you're going to do a session, you just take your stuff and a pen and a
Yeah,
t-shirt.
I try to think of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
lately I've forgotten a little bit, but yeah, usually when I train a guy a couple times or
Yeah, obviously not the first time. You're just gonna be like,
Yeah,
yeah, he's gonna
exactly.
be like, what's this invoice? Like, no, can you just sign my
yeah,
check?
exactly. If you want to build a
then they're gonna
relationship
be like,
first,
oh, who's this guy, man? Yeah, he's not professional.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. But no, definitely, I've got the guys from like obviously Benzema, and I've got like the guys from Liverpool. I got Ben Mendy. I've got a bunch of
Yeah.
them Premier League and stuff.
Nice. You need to
Yeah.
get them framed. They're all framed. Up
Yeah, I
on the wall.
know. I've got some that are frames, but I'm moving soon to like now I'm in an apartment, so I'm gonna move
Yeah.
to a villa. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking once I have the villa, then
Yeah, you have to, bro.
a room for with
yeah.
that and my shoes and
Yeah, you have to, dude. So who would now, if you could choose, okay, I'm going to put this in two parts. Previous athlete and athlete of this day and age. Who would be the ultimate athlete you'd like to work with? Past and present.
I mean the one that comes to mind, I guess, is Ronaldo.
Which one? There's like 9.
No, Cristiano Ronaldo. But like you're
No.
saying, like when he like a couple of years ago.
No, I mean like you can choose someone from
Oh, okay,
30
from any
years
time.
ago. Yeah, from any time. So a past athlete is one, and then an
Yeah,
athlete
yeah.
of this day.
I mean, yeah, Ronaldo would have been sick, but I'm thinking maybe because I just listened to your podcast also with Fadi, and
Yeah.
he's talking about Tim Grover and MJ. Tim Grover, when I saw what he had done, I was like, man, this is kind of like what I'm doing. And I've talked to him on Instagram before also, and I said, look, I'm gonna be like you did, but I'm gonna be doing this in the Middle East. And he said, no, man, be bigger than what I did.
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
Is he-
let's
is he
go
a-
for it.
Is he a big inspiration to you?
Yeah, because he came, he did very similar approach, and he did it. I read his book and all that stuff, and I found out about him after I started doing my own little adventure, and I was like, man, it's very similar. He did kinesiology also. He was working at a YMCA. He was a trainer, and then, he found a way to get in touch with the agent of MJ, and then he offered to train him for free and stuff, which is what I've done also. And then he's like, once you feel the results, then we'll talk about money and all that. And the rest is history, So there's a lot of similarities and the stuff like that. And when I was trying to find my way a little bit and like, okay, how can I become a successful trainer and stuff? And I was like, how can I do it? And it's a bit like that I did. I was like, well, look, in terms of how it works in the industry and stuff, you usually associate, if the guys trained a lot of big names, they know what they're doing. Whether it's actors, Superman
you
for
can't
the movie.
you can't pretend after a while, after one or two things, and people start saying that this guy doesn't know what he's
Yeah,
doing.
exactly.
You're not going to do anymore.
Yeah. So now that's the thing. So 4 or 5 years ago, I that was my plan. I was like, look, I'm gonna train all these guys, and people won't have a choice but to and some people were laughing. Nobody really believed it, and then you
Even
do it.
better,
You
right?
keep grinding and all
Tastes
that.
so much better when people don't believe in you. It's
man.
like,
And it's only the beginning. Also,
Yeah,
there's a
exactly.
lot more now. Like the next plan, But yeah, man, it's definitely feels a lot better like that. And I think it's just a start. I'm still young, but yeah. So I guess MJ would have been sick, obviously, to work with. He LeBron James, maybe, man. LeBron James, I think, is just. If I think of one athlete that I think LeBron would be even more impressive than MJ, man.
That's now. What about past?
And overall, I think, man, even
No, but
LeBron
I mean,
is
which
like,
athlete would have been your past athlete? I mean,
Okay,
you
so
can,
the
you can
present
go,
would
you can
be
go
MJ?
you can go as fast as Maradona. You can go all the way back to, whoever.
yeah, I don't know, because in the past, I think the athletes were more known for they relied more on skills and stuff,
Mm.
LeBron
That's a
is
very
just,
important
LeBron
point,
is
yeah.
the future, man.
Yeah,
You
he's a
look at that
beast.
guy, he's the
He's a cyborg.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
the top of and now you have guys like Zion and stuff coming up too, what are they eating? Or those NFL guys, like, what? But LeBron he's tall, big, strong. He's got skills, everything. Like the leadership, also. Like, man, like it's hard to beat. So working with a guy like that. Now I'm working with some young players, and that's what I like to do also. Like, they're at the beginning of their careers, 18, 19. Some of them, they're playing Chelsea, they're playing Premier League, and I love to do that because that's a bit like the same project. Like, let's see what happens in the next 10 years.
You're development at an early stage as well.
Yeah, and that, for me, that's the most exciting. I love, obviously, working with like those big names, but I love working with kids that are about to become big names, because you help them become big names, and that's pretty sweet, man. Especially when you know the kid, he's a good kid, he's a hard worker, he deserves it and stuff. He starts playing a couple of games, first team Chelsea, and this, you're like, wow, man, like, you're happy for him, he deserves it.
So what's your training philosophy? Because you say Grover, and Grover is, contrary to a lot of people, he had this thing where he was like, okay, bands are good, medicine balls are good, but if you don't lift weights, you're not helping the athlete. He was very kind of like, bands are not going to be there when you land, they're not going to be there when you jump, they're not going to be there. Your body weight and your muscles have to be strong enough to do that. I mean, he changed Kobe completely, and he was like, he was doing no weights before, and he loves to stress the importance of weights. Are you also the same in that, where you have that philosophy where you think it's a main integral part of the training, or are you more kind of like into the other movements?
No, especially nowadays, I think, man, like with social media, people get too excited. I was telling a young player about that yesterday, like it's easy for them to see all that like fancy
things
stuff
that look good,
they do the speed ladder quick, and like they do jump over this and they're like, man, this is useless for your sport, man. Just go in the gym, do your like single leg squats or deadlifts, stuff like that, man. And when comes game time, you're the one against you're gonna be jumping over him, man. No, it depends also on the sports and stuff. But in football and soccer, there's they focus a lot on, in general around the world, they focus a lot on fitness and endurance, and not enough about doing the weights in the gym and doing it properly. Because there's some of them, I know a lot of them also, they do weights everywhere. I was going to say in this part of the world, but like everywhere. And they do it like bodybuilders, so
it's
actually not helping them.
There's no functionality in what.
Like, nice, you put on some muscle and stuff. Is that actually going to help you for football? And not necessarily. You might feel confident, like more confident and stuff, but it won't make you quicker, more, So if you do it properly with the weights, and the other guys on your team or the other guys that you're playing are not doing it, it's still at this point in time like a huge advantage. In a couple of years, I think in 10 years maybe, when everybody else is doing really good programs on the weights, then it might be different. Now you might have, everything evolves. So surely by this point in time, there's still a huge advantage of doing a weight training program in the gym like properly. Because too many people are not doing it or not doing it properly.
How do you feel about also when it comes to, for example, athletes? It's not just you. At high level athletes, you have nutritionists, you have muscle massagers, you have all the. Do you feel like sometimes too many cooks spoil the broth? There's too many cooks in the kitchen, like, where you're trying to do something, but they're doing something else, and their therapist is making them do something else, and it's kind of like not all gelling.
I don't know. In general, most of the guys that I work with and that I know of, they I work in sync with, like, for example, the physios and stuff. I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes or anything, so, or like some nutritionist, for example. I have a player right now, he's with a nutritionist. I kind of more or less agree with what he's doing, but I'm not gonna be saying, look, man, this guy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. I'll say, oh, okay, I would have done maybe a bit more like this,
indirectly, without kind of
but at the same time, I know also I'm not the expert for everything. So that's why, in general, for those high level athletes, it's better that you communicate with those other experts. If they need a good physio, I have the best ones in Dubai, and then these guys work with them, and then I communicate, okay, what exactly is the problem? Okay, do this, don't do that, blah blah. Okay, get back to the program. This is too tight, this is too strong, whatever. And this is the best way, man, for any athlete. Nobody can be an expert in everything. And I know, like, my specialties, I know what they are. I'm not a physio, I'm not a nutritionist. So
it's funny you say that, because again, we'll go back to that. There's people who have done their level 3, and they've done their NVQ nutrition. You can't say nutritionist, dude.
Yeah, no.
On their profiles, they have all these things. No, you've done a very limited, short version of that course that supplements your level 3 or 4.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That you need to do, but you're not a nutritionist.
Yeah.
It's something I want to talk about, because we had the pandemic, but we also have a pandemic in the fitness world, where it's like there's a lot of false trainers out there. There's a lot of people who don't know what they're doing, claim to know what they're doing. There's a lot of people giving bad advice.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, man, like, I'm sure it's like that in every industry. There's a lot of bullshitters out there.
But what do you feel? What sticks out most to you about this industry?
No, I mean, look, man, the way I see it, like, I don't spend time, I don't waste time on stressing about those things. Maybe because I've been in the industry for almost 15 years. I've been there, done that, like, seen, like, oh man, these guys, they're more successful than me, but they don't know as much as we know. And I'm like, I saw how the industry is, and I was like, look, man, you can either keep complaining about that for the next 15 years, or like, you find a way to stand out, or so you find a way, how can I make people understand that I'm better than them in a way? So there's, you have to learn how to do the marketing, the branding, the sales, and all that stuff also, and the social media game and all that to show that you're an expert. At the end of the day, also, like, I know a lot of guys who did SNC, kinesiology, and all these things, and they think they know everything. First of all, they don't look like they're training, that they're lifting, but they're like supposed to be super smart, like book smart and stuff. But at the end of the day, man, like,
practical.
And it doesn't matter. Like, if the other trainer who charges less than you, so you're pissed off because he's getting the clients, but he's a great motivational guy, and he's like, he keeps in shape, and the guys love him, and at the end of the day, when they go to his training session, they give 110%, and they get the changes in the body and stuff. They're happier in their life, and man, this guy's a better trainer than you. I don't care if you studied for 6 years, like that's part of the business.
Real-time experience either.
Yeah. So training people is not just about, like, knowing exactly which muscles attached where and all that.
What I used to say is people don't understand that as a trainer, you're also a psychologist. You're also, you're like 10 different things. A lot of the time, believe it or not, people train with a trainer because they enjoy his company.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they have a friend to talk to and all that.
They have a friend to talk to. They moan about their wife. They complain about their kids. They don't really care about changing much, but they'll pay money and they'll stay with you.
And at the end of the day, it's good for their health also.
Yeah, exactly.
It's good for them. Like, okay, they're moving at the same time, but like, they let that stress out and everything, and it feels good, because obviously psychological is huge, right? So that's part of your overall health. So yeah, man, you gotta get that connection and stuff, and there's too many trainers. Obviously there's some that are shit, and there's a
lot that are shit.
Yeah, and there's some that but what bothers me personally is guys that think they know it all, but they don't look that they don't lead by example. They're not motivational, they're super boring or whatever, and they don't get the results with the clients. So and they complain about, like, oh, this other guy who charges less is more successful. Man, the other guy figure it out. It's a business. Like, no one's gonna give it to you, like, okay, this is how it is. Either you adapt to it and you deal with it, or, man, you're not gonna be successful in this business like anything else,
For sure. Let's get controversial.
PEDs.
PEDs. Let's talk both.
Yeah, that's another one in there.
Both athletically, in big sports, and just Gen Pop as well. We'll start with the big side. Obviously, there's PEDs in. You could pretty much say every sport.
Yeah, if there's a lot of money to be made, man, it's human nature to want to get the edge. Like in NFL, for example, running a 40-yard, right? The difference between a 4.5 and a 4.4 is how many millions of dollars. Like, it's a huge difference. And you're telling me if the guy at your gym, you're training every single day, it's your whole life, this is all you know and everything, and the guy is saying, look, man, take a little extra and you'll get your extra 10 million. Man, that's hard. And the sponsors and stuff, like, it's really hard to, like, you know, and it's not just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make the money, have nice cars. No, it's your family's depending on you, you know, no one has money back home and this and that. Like, man, that's
yeah, I mean, I agree. I think they should make a PED Olympics, bro. I think they should let everyone get roided up.
Yeah.
And you know, everyone's on it. No one's complaining. No one's saying I'm not, and I'm, because there's so many people, and it's a very strange thing that I don't understand of why people are so against admitting to it. Or, you know, there's a lot of people
in sports or in general.
In sports,
yeah.
Even in general.
Well,
but in
sports, you're gonna lose everything if
you're gonna lose everything. I understand, but sometimes it's very clear that you're on, but till the death of you, you'll be like, no. It's like some sports, like for example, fighting, UFC, all these people. There's a lot of people on. I mean, you only need to see them 3 fights apart when they've stopped taking, and you can see the difference. I'm not going to name any names, but you know, And it's like, how do you feel about that? Are you kind of like, no one should be doing it in sports, or people should take their own risks and do whatever? Do you think it's unfair because some people are and some people aren't, or is that a choice that you can make too? And
it's hard to say, because like if you gave the green light and you say, okay, everybody has to be controlled by doctors and have testing, like to make sure everything is healthy and stuff, there's always going to be people trying crazy things. Like, okay, you guys can try all these things, blah blah, it's okay. That guy over there is gonna try some crazy new Russian horse tranquil. I don't know what, man. Maybe he's gonna die, but who cares? Like, he might win gold at the Olympics, and for him, that's his whole life, and it's gonna bring in all the money and stuff. Is it a risk that's worth taking? Yeah, he's, you know. So there's always gonna be, but yeah, it'd be something to see. But
and they're only getting better and better at hiding stuff as well.
Yeah, it's always gonna be the same chase. Did you see that? Icarus,
yeah.
So they're always going to be a couple steps ahead, man. And why? Because that's the thing. Like I was going to say, it's a lot of politics and it's a lot of money involved and pharmaceuticals, this and that. So,
well, I think everyone's doing it, dude.
And it goes like they go where the money's at, right? So the guys, there's so much money to be made in sports. So that's the thing. Like, where do you start? Where do you stop? Like, it's because everybody watches. Nobody wants to see another Olympics race where nobody beats a world record and But the moment somebody breaks Usain Bolt's record, boom, all of a sudden the ratings are gonna go crazy. Everybody's talking about it. The sport is huge. There's more money coming in. So what? You think it's the same thing? You think athletics is gonna catch Usain Bolt? I'm not saying he's on something, but if you look at all the numbers, you know, everybody who's like slower than him eventually got caught, except him, who destroyed them all.
He's either a freak genetic, you know.
Well, he is, but even they're all genetic freaks.
So
how much of a freak can he be? Like, that's the thing. I don't want, like, I know he's a great ambassador. He's a great guy. Also, I've met him. Like, he's a great athlete and the mindset and everything. The greatest ever. But, you know, does it mean that he's not the greatest ever if he took something? Not necessarily. Like,
that's what I think. I'm just like, look, in a world where everyone's taken, bro, you just don't know who is and who isn't. So it's just like whatever.
The only thing is if it's a sport, I think where it can be dangerous for other people, then you have to think about it twice. You know,
you mean like
UFC.
But then
you're taking some stuff and the other guy is not. Then it's
okay. I know this has been spoken about on Rogan before and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
But okay, then you've got this whole transgender thing where you know, Fallon Fox was a dude who was smashing the shit out of all these women. Nobody knew until thingy, and they're like, no, I should be able to associate. Well, not when you're fighting, dude. Not when your bones and everything.
Exactly,
you have men's bones and density and all that stuff. It's like there's got to be a line that's drawn with that. Like, I know it's sensitive,
it's
but
tough to be. But I agree with Joe 100%, man. Like screw being politically correct, this and that. Like, at some point, man, I remember a couple years ago they talking about that, like for like this girl that was like the School Olympics breaking all the records and stuff, and like,
and all the kids were just so demotivated, and they were just like,
and what are you teaching the kids also, man? It's not just about the sports games and stuff. It's about like their whole life. So it's cheating, and you're never gonna have a chance to win,
Yeah.
and like it's
and
it's
on
messed
top of
up.
that, it's okay, and you have to be okay with it.
Yeah,
No, that doesn't
everybody's gonna. Yeah, man, come on.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. It's that's a long. That's a
Yeah.
long
That's it.
discussion.
That's episode 2 for us. Don't worry,
Yeah.
man. Let's talk Gem Pop and PEDs.
Yeah, if you do it responsibly, man, I think you're not hurting anyone. There's some stuff you can take that's illegal because it's written that it's illegal. But is it more dangerous than like alcohol or other things? Just like weed was illegal for the longest time. Now in Canada it's legal. All of a sudden, okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
So like you know, a couple of years ago you would have went to jail because you had that. Now you're good to smoke in the street and buy it in the street.
I agree. But
So that's just politics and all that stuff.
But the problem with that is, okay, with athletes, you have doctors, you have people
Yeah.
watching you, you have people giving you your
Yeah,
cycles and
yeah.
that. With the common population and bro science going on
True.
and people not watching themselves, I think it can be really dangerous
True.
if you don't know what you're doing. Because
Exactly,
I
yeah,
remember
yeah.
I had a friend who was taking a cycle, and he was talking about his jabs, and he was like, "Oh, I think I need to take this one today," and I was like, "Bro, what do you mean think?
Yeah, I know, man. I know. I have a friend also who
What
just
do you mean
started
think?
his first time a
How
couple
much are you
weeks
taking
ago.
of whatever?" And he's like, "I don't know."
Yeah, no, exactly. Same thing with my friend who started a couple months ago, man. And he's telling me, like, for weeks, for months, I was asking him, like, so what are you taking? Because he was asking me for help, and I was like, so what are you taking? I don't even know, you know. So the guy, his trainer in that, I don't know, sketchy gym in Dara, was like giving him some stuff, and then eventually he told me he just found out like a couple weeks ago, and I was like, holy shit, you're taking this much stuff. Like, even this is like Arnold stuff, man. This is your first cycle. You half his weight.
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, yeah, man, you gotta be careful. But I mean, if you do it correctly, and like you said, like you do the test, your blood test, blah blah blah, I don't see a problem with it. You want to look good for the beach this summer when you travel to Ibiza or whatever, and you can take some small things, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, there's definitely it's easy to overdo it, like anything. And the thing people think the more you take, the more results you'll get.
No, there's going to be
Yeah.
yeah.
You don't see what's happening inside your body. You're messing up
Also,
all that stuff.
you're going to develop body dysmorphia.
Yeah,
You know, you're never going to be happy with whatever. And when you know how easy it is to just
yeah, it's
get
addictive.
back to that, yeah.
It's very addictive for.
And if done properly, because I mean, look, people are doing HRT, TRT, all that stuff, which they should be really doing at my age, not at 20 and 25 and just being on all year long kind of thing. So I think that's the problem with it, and also just bad advice. And again, even in the training world, so many people who they took a couple of cycles, they look good.
Yeah.
They're not trainers, but all of a sudden,
they become trainers.
yeah, they'll compete in a WBFF or something like that, and then they're a prep coach or they're whatever, and then they get someone who sees that, who's just a normal person who isn't even taking, because they probably don't tell the client that they're taking,
exactly, no.
and then they're not going to get results out of them because they don't actually know how to train someone naturally to kind of thingy. I remember, like, you know, some people, I see them in the gym, they're like, oh, you know, they're first coming to train, they're like, but I don't want to get like, and they'll point, and I'll be like, dude, in your wildest dreams, you could, even on roids with your genetic, you could never get that big. Even with 5 years, and they're on like a 3-month program, and you're like, you're out of your mind if you think you're getting anywhere near that. Do you know what I mean? The misconceptions that people think, you take an injection and then all of a sudden in 2 weeks you're fucking massive and ripped and striations and shredded and you know what I mean?
Still gotta do the work and eat correctly and all that stuff, do all the work, At the end of the day, it just helps you to recover quicker and all that, so you're able to train more and more often and stuff. But yeah, it's a weird one, Why is it legal? Why is it illegal? Like,
did you ever watch that documentary, Bigger, Badder, Stronger?
Yeah, it's a bit older, no?
Yeah, very old. It's a very old one.
Is it with Arnold? No, it's
no. It's
with,
so basically about these two brothers that one of them wanted to be a wrestler in WWF, and then he started taking roids. But basically, the guy goes around and he gets all these specialists and doctors and everything, and he basically just says it's just like ice cream, bro. Too much of it's not good for you. If you eat a bit, it tastes nice. You know what I mean? That's the whole kind of thing of everything. Yeah,
the guys nowadays, a lot of bodybuilders, especially that I know in the Middle East, they take way more stuff than guys like Arnold used to take, man. And they don't look better. Yeah. Even I know some people, they come up to me in the gym and say, yeah, I want to start taking things like at least, man, you need
to train
to
your natural peak first.
At least for a couple of years, learn how to train and eat and all that stuff properly first, man, because if you do that, you look good from the outside, but
Mm.
inside, man, you're
Yeah,
making a whole mess. And
But social media again, I
Yeah.
think that's people want things quick these days, and when they see that on social media, then they're just kind of like,
yeah.
all right, how do I do it? Then
It's
you
like
get
the
these,
girls also, man, same thing.
exactly. Then you get people who are in the gym and the locker room chemists. Who
Yeah.
are like, "Psst, come over here. You want to look like that? I'll tell you how to get it." And all they care
Yeah.
about is making money and selling a couple of things. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
they don't really
exactly.
care about the safety of the
It's
person
crazy,
or
man.
anything like that. You know?
Yeah, man.
So what would you think is the what's the good things about the industry now, and what are the bad things about the industry? If you were to point out two major things, that like something that really worries you and something that you're happy with.
Well, now that we had this talk, man, I was this thing worries me, man.
Yeah.
I never really think about it. Like, I've been in the industry for a while, but now the past couple of years I've been going back towards a bit more like what my passion is and working with athletes and that kind of stuff. Also because of all these things that I don't want to kind of deal with, I've done the cover of Men's Health. I've been sponsored by all these things, supplements, blah blah blah, and featured everywhere. And it's not me personally. I'm like, okay, and then what? It's the environment and stuff is too narcissist also,
Yeah,
So that's where you don't want to go, man. Like me, I'm lucky. My mom was always telling me, okay, stay humble. Like don't like no one. It doesn't give you anything. It's not gonna make you happy, man.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and to me working with athletes and stuff, and that's my passion. I'm happy there, But yeah, I mean, it's good. Like it's there's all these different types of training now that people can do. So that's a good thing. That you like more to train in classes with music, in the dark with lights, all these different things you can, and you don't have to necessarily be working out. You can just move, right? You go do stand-up paddling, you do some activities, go run. Like there's all these things happening now, man. Like if it's hard not to move, man. Like if you want to move, you'll definitely meet some people that are gonna push you to do whatever, to go for a run, this and that, bike. So that's good. But yeah, I guess the bad side is that there's a lot of people that go overboard and it becomes a bit too superficial. But I don't know if it wasn't like that before already. Maybe now we see it more because of social media.
Yeah, because we see it more.
Yeah, it's just exaggerates more and it's more out there in our face. But like everything, man, like don't follow those people, man.
Exactly.
don't put them in your face.
Yeah,
like
the thing that worries me is the youngsters. It's not, for us, it's like whatever.
True.
Dude, but when these youngsters are looking up to these people, that's the worrying thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and they think those goals are attainable naturally and this and that. And
because you do get 16-year-olds taking stuff.
yeah, no.
And it's just like, you haven't even matured yet at all. There's no need for you to take it. Like I didn't start training till weights properly till I was probably 18.
Yeah.
Like, if I see the stuff that some of these kids are doing and stuff they're taking, you can go on YouTube and you see people putting up videos and, this is my last cycle and blah, 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 blah. And they're like 15 and you're just like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah, that's scary, man.
Like, why?
That's scary because they don't realize. Yeah.
Like, you haven't spent enough time with your balls yet. Like,
exactly. They haven't
enjoy your time with
yet.
them. Yeah, let them hang a bit. Let them heat
Yeah.
up a bit before you start. Like,
yeah, I know some guys who've done it since they were like 14 or 15, and their bodies are messed up now. They're in their 20s, and
yeah,
you can't. Yeah, man, you have. It's tough to say, obviously, to kids if all their friends are. I was training this American football player guy. He's 17 or 18 now in high school, and his friends are doing it. He's telling me he wants to try it also. Like.
But American football is brutal as well because, I've watched a couple of documentaries and spoken to a few American footballers that I know, and they're like, that whole American uni lifestyle, it's another world, bro.
Yeah.
Like, they're giving them cortisol injections,
everybody's on something.
and they're giving them all of these injections just to play. You need to play. I don't care if you're hurt. I don't care if you're broken. You need to play. And they also want, it's the final game. And like, I didn't know, like, I don't know about in Canada, but in the UK, university football, we would have been lucky if we had 40 people coming to watch us.
True.
Do you know what I mean? Their stadiums for the
100,000 people, man.
Yeah, and they go and they support and
they're superstars,
and they're
man.
famous. Yeah, it's like in the community they're like crazy out
Yeah.
there. So it's like
Can't
such
imagine,
a high.
You're 19 and you can get whatever you want, man.
You're wearing the
school
jacket
gives you,
and all that stuff, and it's crazy that I didn't live that lifestyle at all. Like we had to beg people to come. They're like, yeah, but it's far and we have to get a car, and you know what I mean, to come and watch us play.
Yeah. No, in Canada it's not as big as the States. The States is something else. But yeah, man, I think the it's part of the culture and stuff. And when there's so much at stake, people just it's hard to know where to stop, man. Like competitive sports in general, like competitive sports, it's not about being healthy. It's about like performing now, winning now. They don't care about what happens to you in 20 years if you've had I don't know how many concussions playing in high school.
You're a
and
commodity,
stuff.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing with American football, man. It's a bit like boxing and stuff, but yeah, I think American football is actually more dangerous because
CTE and all of that stuff that they're getting.
You're coming in full speed, man. You get hit in such weird ways sometimes, and it's dangerous, man.
And it's not just like during the game; they train like that too.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
Turn your phone off next time before we start shooting, please. It's very disrespectful. My phone, but still, that's crazy. So, how did the pandemic affect you, dude?
Me, it was good actually. The past year.
Not a lot of people have said that.
No,
bro.
Exactly. But again, like everything else, you have to adapt, right? I think some of the most successful people, I like to read and watch a lot of stuff about successful people and self-development and all that stuff to get inspired, but to learn also from them. And the most successful people in the world, man, like the world is always changing and stuff, and you can either complain about, it's tough on everybody, and everybody loves to do that. They all complain together, oh man, like, the economy, or you can be like, okay, well, how can I use this to my advantage, So I was thinking, like I said, I was running that gym before where for celebrities and athletes and stuff, and then I got lucky also. I resigned in February, March last year, right before all that stuff happened. And I've always wanted to do like the big reason why I wanted to build up all that brand reputation and stuff is because also I wanted to launch more online stuff. Online, obviously, you can do it from anywhere.
Yeah, digital is the way forward now.
Yeah, so I is the opportunity for me to go all out with the online. So I built it up, did the website, blah, blah, all that stuff, and it worked pretty well. So that's what I've been doing. And then obviously this winter, Dubai was open again, so I had a lot of people here in town, a lot of players, but I still have that on the side. And whenever I want, whenever it's more quiet, I can push that again, and that's the future for me. And through that, I discovered what I really like, which is, like I said earlier, like it's really rewarding for me to work with all those young players around the world, and I'm able to work with a lot more players than just in person, obviously. So I have dozens of young guys on my programs, and most of them are between 17 and 19, so they're about to become pro. They're about to make it to the first team, and I love it because you know how it is when we're that age, man. You're so hungry, you want to be a professional athlete, you're ready to do whatever it takes, but you don't know how to train properly. You don't have the knowledge, you don't have the guidance. Maybe some coaches or some parents are telling you what to do, but is it actually helping you? Is it working? Now you have this guy who trains the best players in the world who's telling you, you do it and you see the results. You sign your first pro contract, you make the first team. So that's what I really like doing now. It's amazing to now. It's still new, it's been a year, but like some of those guys, they're getting better and better. They have trials with like some big teams and stuff, so we'll see what happens in the next years. But I'm able to impact in a good way, like a lot more lives.
Yeah, man, I wish you all the best for that, man.
My home,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And the thing is that I can't speak for you, but I imagine it's kind of like you want to be the name, like a Grover out there, where people are like, okay, off season, go to Dubai, have a holiday, but at the same time, do your off season with this guy, and people are going to be coming from far.
That's
and
already
wide.
happening more and more.
Yeah.
I've already got a lot of guys like Premier League guys and stuff.
Just let me know in advance so I can send you the t-shirts, the kits that I need signed for my wall. There's a couple of spaces left there. We need to fill them, bro. We need to fill them. Let's talk about the podcast with you and Rob.
We haven't done too many, like I think we took a break from November till Feb or March, but No, man. I mean, you know, Rob has also launched his online stuff with me, like around the same time as me, and where you know it's nice to work with him because we're the same, similar stages in our lives. You know, he just got his little girl just turned 1. Me, my wife is pregnant. We're expecting in August.
I saw the picture.
Yeah. So we're at that stage in our lives. You know, we have to take it seriously. We push each other. We're in the same mindset and stuff. You know, with the online and the business and stuff. And as you know, like with your podcast, also like we try to get on as many channels as possible. You know, so. You know, it's nice on Instagram, but I'm trying to get my LinkedIn more out there, my Facebook a bit, my YouTube and all that. And the podcast, everybody knows it's a great way to meet people, to get your name out there. It opens a lot of doors.
I'll put that up there.
Huh?
I'm going to put it up there so people can go to the link.
And
go to it.
No, it's nice. We haven't.
You've been lazy. Stop making excuses, bro.
Yeah, there's different things, you know, like we haven't, like Rob and I have not been working. We've been doing the other things, you know, and it's like the podcast is a long run.
Yeah,
like
it's a long game. Yeah.
So we're you know, whenever I had people in town, like big names and stuff, we'd get them on. Lately, obviously with COVID, we haven't had that many. We did some on Zoom and stuff, but yeah, man, we've just been focusing on obviously things that pay the bills right away also. So now we're trying to get back on track. But yeah, podcast is. It's nice to have, man. It's the future also, you know.
And you build a nice community of people, you know. People end up meeting other people, like-minded people, and then the community just grows and grows and grows. Yeah. And the thing that I like and appreciate about the thing with you and Rob that you were just mentioning now, too many times you get people who are in the similar field. They can be friends, but they kind of hate on each other a little. Not that they hate, but they kind of see each other as competition. As opposed to
be honest, it's a bit of a friendly competition. Like we don't say it, but like
it's nice to not feel threatened by it and feel you know and take it in your stride and be like, okay, you know, I have a friend who's kind of doing the same thing and we're kind of both doing this kind of journey together.
I mean, in a way, also the thing is we're in completely different niche fields, also, right? So like I'm with the pro athletes,
Rob,
with
like into athletes,
fat loss and stuff. But, so that obviously, but no, definitely.
So what do you see in the future? In the future, do you see a facility in the end, a facility just for athletes?
I don't know, man.
Or are you happy to just not have overheads?
That's the thing, and to have the flexibility and stuff. And the plan is maybe in 5 years or so, when inshallah the kid is big enough to go kindergarten and stuff. I'd like to be back in Canada as much as possible, with the grandparents, her cousins, uncles and all that, and my friends and stuff. Like, it's been 8 years, man, away from home. And I'm a family guy also, and my parents are not getting any younger, and you don't want to miss too many. You know, now is the time. You know, my niece and nephews are growing up, and my kid is going to be growing up. I want them to be close to their family also. So with the online training, you know, if I have a successful online business, I can do it from anywhere. My wife's parents also right now, they're in Greece, so we could go to Greece for a couple weeks. We can go Canada. I can come back here when it's a busy season, train my guys also. So with
fluid and flexible.
With my gym, there wouldn't be that, and also over the next couple years, I'm talking with a few football teams right now. I can't say anything more, but so I'll probably be working with that also. So that'll keep me busy.
More specific to teams themselves.
With the team, with the teams here, it would be to help, especially with explosivity, speed, power, and stuff. So to come in and work for one of the teams here for a couple of years, and then 5 years go back to Canada. So I've started planting some seeds back home already, so that when I go back, I have already started things started.
It's gonna be cold, bro.
Well, that's the thing with the online. When it's cold, take a break, go to Greece, go to Dubai a little bit.
Yeah.
It's nowadays, right? Now it's 2021, 2026, man. It'll be even easier to travel. Like, okay, all right, like I'm gonna go to Dubai for tomorrow. You travel at night, in the morning you wake up in Dubai.
Well, who knows, bro? In 5 years, that Hyperloop might go right under the water. Where are you? I'm in Dubai. I'll be there in 25 minutes, bro.
Exactly.
Don't worry. We'll be flying.
Man.
All right,
Crazy.
so 3 sports: football, basketball, MMA. Okay.
That I work with?
No. Oh. That we're gonna go through now.
Okay.
Top 5 workouts for each.
Exercises
to be to get the most benefit and most explosiveness in them?
It depends on a lot of things, man.
I mean, I know it depends on positions and different stuff like that.
Yeah,
but if you were to give a general one for what you'd like to work on the most.
Yeah, it's true. Like for guys, like, yeah, I'll do something similar for like even Overeem or a lot of the football players, because it's exercises that are safe. They work really well. They get great results. The guys feel it really well. You know, it pays off. It's the best bang for your buck, you know. So overall, for fit guys, right? For fit, you said football, MMA, basketball. Yeah. So I would do some posterior chain work, some unilateral stuff, some core stuff. So
unilateral, what? You know?
Yeah. One.
Do you know how many
time.
people? No, I know. But what I'm saying is, you know how many people that go into the gym and just ask a random trainer, can you just show me a unilateral workout?
Yeah.
Ask him about, dude, some people won't even know about the planes, bro. Yeah. They don't know about any planes. Just say how many planes are there.
It depends again,
and
like
it's
on
worrying, bro. For me, it's worrying. I mean, I'm not even, I'm getting out of the industry.
Yeah.
But I just, has there ever been a time where you've been in the gym and you've just looked at someone and you're like, he's going to break them?
Yes, but in general, again, I find there's too many people maybe in fitness that hate on each other in the gym. Oh, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. But me, I'm always more of like, well, you don't know, man. Did you see the rest of the workout that he did? What exactly is the reason? Like, a lot of people, for example, they'll look at
you've never seen anyone go. I've seen someone with like a 40-year-old woman before, put her under the squat rack, look like her first session. Her legs are shaking underneath her. The weight is way too heavy. Her body positioning is all wrong.
Yeah.
And it's like,
maybe
can't do that to this person.
But like you said, it looks like it was her first session, right? So like, I try to never judge.
If it wasn't her first session, she should not be squatting like that.
True. But I mean, like, okay, this is like maybe an exception. Like, but what I mean is, there's too many people that like to look at other trainers and be like, oh yeah, he's doing the plank wrong, or oh no, his deadlift, the back is too round, he's doing it wrong, or this, that. And like, first, not every rep is going to be perfect. Second, you don't know exactly what they're trying to target. You don't know maybe the whole idea is that he's working on this when he's tired because he's trying to improve something else, or maybe they're maybe that's actually much better than it was last 2 weeks, or like there's.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're in a place long enough, you tend to see.
If you see always the same,
do you know what I mean? You tend to see a lot of sessions. Like when you're working in the gym and that's the one place you're in, and you're looking, you're just like, I've seen this person over 3 months and they still can't squat, bro. It's like teach them the range of motion first before they. Yeah,
but then again, like you don't have to have the perfect range of motion from the beginning. Like let's say that older woman is she needs to, her blood pressure, blah blah, she's overweight. You don't have, because I know a lot of people will do that. They'll teach the perfect technique and this and that, and then at the end of the day, she didn't get a workout. So you need to like prioritize. Okay, yes, you definitely need to improve. You're too tight and this, blah blah. But you're also coming here because you need to lose fat ASAP and feel good about yourself and all that, right? So that's part of the equation too. So it's like, okay, I'll make her. Maybe she won't have perfect technique for every exercise, but her metabolism, the fat burning, the hormones and stuff are going to be kicking in, and then, she'll get some results and she'll feel happier about herself and feel better, So there's all these things like.
Nah, I'm going to be a hater and argue against you, bro. I'm going to hate all the way. When it's something like a squat or a deadlift that can be detrimental to somebody's knees or back or whatever.
Have you seen Mark Boyd? No, you had Don and Mark on here, right? Have you seen Mark deadlift?
No.
Okay, well, you know how much he deadlifts, right?
Okay, I imagine a lot.
Yeah, he did 400k, I think. He was 100 kilo, he did 400k, so it's a monster. Is his form perfect? No, not at all.
Yeah, but he does this for a living, bro.
I know. What I'm saying is, like, your form doesn't have to be perfect. He knows, he's been doing it for long enough also. He knows his body, that, the right muscles are firing, like everything. He's not going to break his back doing this, Now, if you have a amateur guy who's a beginner who's never done it before, it's different. You want to make sure they feel the right muscle and stuff. But I mean, at the end of the day, he's doing 400 kilo deadlift. Like,
It's
so what,
gonna
you're
be
gonna go
hard for
tell
your
him like,
form.
excuse
Yeah.
me, your form, you know?
Yeah.
So you don't always have to have perfect technique. It's all, there's a lot of factors
Yeah.
you have to look into, I think. Yeah,
so
man.
I'm just going to talk to my editor. If you can crop out all of his parts, leave my hate in all the way
No, but it's a
through,
good discussion.
and then re-go back and find somewhere where he was saying, yes, that's totally right. Put it in there on top. No. Yeah, I get what you're saying, definitely.
Yeah.
I just think from my angle, maybe it's the inner hater inside that I need to come to your classes and take out the inner hate. But I've seen so many things in gyms that have really worried me with, and you can tell whether, I mean, if you've been training people, like you said, I've been doing this 20 years. When you've been training people long enough, you can pretty much tell that this isn't, benefiting them.
Yeah.
It's one thing to burn fat and make sure they're working. It's another thing to do it at the expense of their health.
Yeah, of course.
It's like you go to some
also.
CrossFit boxes, and it could be your first time going CrossFit.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, we're going to do a clean and jerk and an Olympic lift and load on these weights, and they don't watch everyone kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what are you guys doing,
Yeah.
dude? Like, this is not a sport that a newbie should just come in, join a class of pros, and then just start locking on weight and stuff.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah.
And you know what? You sound so much like GSP. I want to call my friend who's a big GSP fan and just pretend that you're him. I'll just be like, hey, dude.
I'm not as bad as him, man.
I have a message for you. No, he's worse, bro. He's so bad, man.
But we're from the same place, huh? South Shore of Montreal.
Yeah.
Like less than 15 minutes away.
He must be huge out there, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But he was also, again, he was like a pioneer in a lot when it came to mixed martial arts, where he was, taking shark cartilage and all of these supplements, and he had a lot more of a scientific kind of angle, right?
Yeah.
At a time when not a lot of people were doing that.
Yeah, he's the definition of a mixed martial artist. Like, for him, it's an art. Yeah. So even now, I see him on Instagram. He's doing sprint workouts. He's doing gymnastics. He's doing boxing. He does everything. And even though he's retired, okay, now he's trying to film like actually Marvels and stuff. But
I saw him when he was in thingy the other day, right?
It's Captain America.
Yeah, Captain America.
Yeah,
and
so he's the bad French guy on the boat. Yeah,
on the
Did you
plane.
see? Well, on the plane maybe, but he was already in the first or second Captain America.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. When you go
because he's in the series now. He was in the series.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's filming that since last year.
Yeah.
But already in the first or second movie, if you look, when they go on the boat, and it's all French people, which is funny because they're all French.
Yeah.
And then the boss of the French is a Quebecer.
Yeah.
And like he doesn't make an effort to sound French.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh, qu'est-ce que tu fais là?
Yeah.
And it's a good fighting scene and stuff. And then he just runs away and escapes. Yeah.
That's what I liked when I saw him in this clip there, and I obviously knew there was going to be a fight, and I was like, finally, someone who really fights.
Yeah.
Not somebody who's been trained to.
Yeah. This guy.
This is going to be a good little fight scene that they did it.
Was it like what in TV show? You've already seen it?
Yeah.
It's on Netflix.
It's on OSN. So it's the Winter Soldier and Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Because I was looking for it on Netflix and stuff. So how do
it's on OSN? I'll give you my login, bro. It's fine.
Okay.
I got free OSN. I didn't say that out loud. Yeah.
But yeah,
it's a good show.
Yeah, he's an amazing person also, man. Last time he was in Dubai here, we met also. Yeah, big hero. He used to be like whenever he would fight, I remember, man, the streets are empty everywhere in Quebec. Like he was Canadian Athlete of the Year. I don't know how many years in a row, and he was such a great ambassador for UFC. Also, the opposite of, and then Conor came on.
Yeah.
Took over.
No, but I mean, GSP and Conor are completely different animals. I mean, I'll tell you why they're different animals. To be honest, we're both laughing now because somebody forgot to put the charger in the laptop, and I'm not going to say any names or anything or point at him. Benga, right there, bro, right there. So
one job.
Yeah, one job, bro. Look at him on his phone. See, he's looking at all those social media pictures that we were just talking about of all the girls and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So so I guess we were saying something cool, but it has come to the end of the podcast. So, dude, it's been a pleasure to have you with me. I learned a lot from today's session, mostly that I'm a fucking hater. But
about that, it's not that. It's just everybody definitely in fitness, you should always keep learning and keep trying to improve. Whether it's your knowledge in fitness training or
you're doing better
business.
now. You're making me look better. Keep going. Join the hate,
business.
bro. The hate train is amazing, bro. Just join it.
It's not good for you, man. It's bad for your health, you know.
You know what? GSP once said that the hate he had raged inside him which helped him to be a better fighter.
Of course, man.
There
He
you
was
go. So
bullied when he was
So
younger.
that's what I'm doing, bro. I'm trying to make this podcast
You wanna
better
fight?
by being a hater, bro. Dude,
Nice.
again, is there anything that you want to say to the people?
No, it was great, man. Thank you for having me. It was nice. Usually I talk more about my journey and my life and how I got to where I am, but it was very cool to talk about a bit different subjects, different questions, and maybe get a bit of controversy going.
That's
Also, we'll see if we get the views.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
We got the clickbait. It's ready to go. Guys, thank you for gibbering with Jabber. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks again for coming down, Nick.
Of course.
I'll let you know all of his socials and everything where you can follow him.